Welcome back to 94
Yo,
feet,
gamer
ladies and gentlemen.
Kade.
Cade Cameron, Danny Stepanovich, as usual. I know, I know that we might have some technical difficulties tonight, but at the same time, we're gonna try giving you guys the best show possible, and of course, kind of keep going down that NBA top 50 list. We're halfway through it now. We're hitting 30 through 21 tonight. So yeah, no, we're getting there. And also, we're talking about fall fashion. You know, we finally got past Labor Day. Football's finally started. It's finally starting to feel like fall a little bit. Maybe not here in the Valley, but at least probably throughout the country, you know. So got to talk some of that fall fashion. Danny, first off, can you hear me through the speakers?
I cannot hear you through the speakers, unfortunately. So something's going on, but I got you on on the phone call.
Okay, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
I
Oh shoot, you cutting out a little bit.
on the stream. I can't.
Wait, hold up. What were you saying?
Am I losing you? Am I losing you on the stream?
A little bit, but again, like I said, worst case scenario, we're gonna get through this as best we can, you know. And yeah, I mean, I feel like we always say this. We're gonna try doing our best to kind of keep it short. But
I don't know if you can hear.
Time. Oh, Danny. Ah, shit. Okay, we lost him. We'll get him back on shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We got a speaker real quick. Danny, what saying real quick?
I'm sorry. I'm hopping back on my phone. I haven't given up yet, but can the people hear me?
I think they got you up there.
Yeah. My Wi-Fi got knocked out. That's how I know it's fall, because there's a storm here in Phoenix. My Wi-Fi got knocked out like an hour ago, and it's all funky now. So
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, I got lucky because that storm came through like right after that, and I was kind of worried that I might find the same issue, but I think we're good. And of course, we're still going to keep rolling. You know, we're going to make the best of this, so we're going to make it happen. But all right, I'll let you set that up real quick. I'll get the show all set up and whatnot. But yeah, as mentioned, you know, we're going through the top 50 again. This is part 3, so we're now going. What is that? That's going to be 30 through 21 tonight. I think we've got ourselves a pretty good list, and we're kind of getting to that point where, you know, the debates are going to be heating up a little bit, so it's nice. I know it's going to be good, but and then yeah, as mentioned, fall fashion. We've got some stuff locked down. We did it with the summer fashion a little bit, where we did the what's it called, the like hot or not with fall fashion. We plan on doing the same thing again today with some of the fall fashion coming up, and we're going to be all set up for that, you know. So just got to take the time to get set up again. It might be a little bit of a different setup just because, again, he's going to be going off his phone since the Wi-Fi was knocked out for him. You know, this pesky Phoenix storm. So just got to wait for him to come back on. We'll kind of keep this as a shorter episode again this time just because it's a Sunday night. We got stuff going on tomorrow. I'm not trying to be up too late. So we'll be good, though. Hopefully he'll be back in the next few seconds. Just got to hop back on the link. And we'll be ready to go again. Honestly, I'm not sure if we're going to be getting any actual interaction, but hopefully everybody's night is going well so far. You know, it's a Sunday night, first week of football, which is big. And I know this is a basketball show, but I want to say football's back. It's great. Football's king. Oh, here we go. We got Danny back now.
I'm so sorry, guys.
No, we're good. We're good. We're back on now. So
okay.
All right, we're good. All right, Danny, we'll just get right into it. Let's
do
talk
it.
top 30 to 21. Danny, who do you have as your 30th overall player in the league this season?
Okay, coming in at 30, right ahead of James Harden. I don't know if this is a hot take, Kate. You let me know, but I got Anthony Edwards. He was only a sophomore entering his third year, and all he did was get better from his rookie year. 21, 4, and 5 as a rookie. He increased his points, rebounds, and assists from his rookie season. And then, you know what I like, Kate? I like players to play better in the playoffs, and that's all he did. 25 points per game in the playoffs. And he didn't have like a disappointing game where, if you remember, the T-Wolves struggled in that series against the Grizzlies, I want to say, giving up leads, choking games. But that was mostly Cat. It wasn't Anthony Edwards. He just has he's got that factor. I feel like people want to play with him. I'm ready for the Timberwolves to finally tell him to be the number one and let Cat take a step back. And I think this is going to happen this coming year. That's why I got him so high.
No, I agree with that. I honestly, if it was me, I'd put him higher. I think he's a fantastic player.
Okay.
And I think he's only going up from here. I mean, he was only recently drafted out of Georgia, so he's still very young. I remember he was in that conversation for being Rookie of the Year between him and Melo, which are, I mean, two of the top stars in the league as of now, despite how young they are. So, no, I don't disagree with that. Again, like I said, I'd probably put him higher in my opinion. And I'm happy that you mentioned that Cat situation because, again, that was really him that kind of struggled in those playoff games this season. I mean, I remember you mentioned him last week. But no, I think, yeah, I agree. It is going to be very soon that he becomes the number one option on Minnesota. My 30, and this might be a little bit of a hot take too, I'll admit, but I think this is going to be a guy that's going to be the number one overall option on his team. He's going to be a guy that could bring his team to the playoffs again. They were there last year, got knocked out in the first round. But I got myself Pascal Siakam, the All-Star Pascal Siakam. I mean, you could make the argument that he could be a little bit higher on this list. But overall, at the end of the day, I mean, he's just a big that's going to be able to get you points down low. He's a good shooter. He's going to be able to, again, just provide strong offensive basketball. And even then, he flashes defense every once in a while. So I think with somebody like Pascal, the reason I have him as low or that low is just because, again, I mean, you're talking about a team that the Toronto Raptors. I mean, they're not going to be a top team or top seed in the East this upcoming season, but he's still going to be able to provide pretty consistently. He's still going to be very good. And he's going to be that number one option on a team that I think has a very even level of skill all the way through. So, yeah, I got Pascal 30 for me.
Okay, that segues right into my 29th best player, Siakam, who, I have a lot of respect for, like you said. I just had to have him so high up on this list. He kind of does a lot for that team. He might not be the leading scorer. I think Fred VanVleet is, but Siakam, he does more than just score. He can pass, rebound. We saw how valuable he was in that championship run. So I got him at 29, right where you got him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic player. It's good that we got him. I mean, I think again, that might be.
I'll cut you off, Kate. I like how you said we got him this low because he's really not taking them to like a 1 or 2 seed, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's not much to it. I mean, he's a fantastic player, but he's in the sense. How would I describe it? I mean, I feel like you see this with like those kind of like those star players, but not the like up there star players, not the superstars, where it's like you put them on another team, he's never going to be the number one option, or at least for the most part, he's never going to be the number one option. But for Toronto, it works out very well for him. So no, he works very well. 29, I got a guy that you had last week on your list. So I'm not going to go too in depth about him, but I got DeJounte Murray. He's a guy that, again, has been putting up stats since he's joined the league. His numbers have only gone up. And now going into a team that has shown playoff success over the past few seasons in Atlanta, I think he's going to be a good combination with Trae Young. And I have high hopes for the way that DeJounte Murray is going to be able to play this upcoming season.
I can tell you're already high on the Hawks. I have him a little bit lower in my rankings just because I feel – I haven't seen it just yet. We've seen him put up good stats and play good ball on a bad team, but we'll see if he can handle the number 2 deep in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see what this Hawks team can do, though.
No, I agree. And hey, I'll admit too. I think that little conversation he had with Paolo again, kind of just like
Ooh.
again. I mean, that's a heated conversation, but I feel like that might fuel him to do a little bit better this season. I mean, not by too much, but I think he's going to put on his flashes and kind of use that as a little bit of motivation. So
Why was he talking to a rookie like that? What did Paolo do?
I think what was it? It was again during one of the pro-am games, like they were just
Yeah.
talking trash on the court and whatnot. I think that at one point, Murray caught a nasty poster on Paolo. It was crazy. But like then they just started talking trash and whatnot. Murray was like, "Hey, like you were the one that was like looking up to me when you were younger, and now look at you trying to be out this big man and whatnot."
Oh
So
yeah.
it was funny to watch, but I think again, it's just kind of that heated, almost kind of prove yourself mentality. And I think that's exactly what DeJounte is going to do, especially considering that there's that argument that he should have been in the I mean, he made his way to the All-Star game last year, but wasn't an automatic bid. I mean, he had to work his way up due to injury. So he's a guy that I think is still out there trying to prove a lot. So that's why, I mean, he is down there because there's a lot of very good skilled players ahead of him, but he's still going to be a guy that's going to be able to get it done on the court, especially as that number 2 option. So that's why I got him at 29.
All right. Am I going next for 28? Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. You tell me where you are on him, but I got LaMelo Ball at 29, 28. Have you gone over him already?
I have not. I have him we got him coming up for me.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, I mean, it's only his third year in the league, and we've seen how much he makes a team better. You know, compared to his rookie year when he won 33 games. Sophomore year, Hornets win 43 games. But the reason why I don't have him like as a top 20 player just yet is we haven't seen him in the playoffs yet, and the 2 playing games that we have seen him in, he's gotten blown out in both. 2 years ago, lost 144 to 117. Last year, lost 132 to 103. So these are total blowouts. And LaMelo only shot he put up 26 points, but he shot 7 for 25. But his stat line's there. He does everything for his team. And I'm finally happy to see the Hornets get like a franchise player. Hopefully they don't waste LaMelo's career like they did with Kemba though.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've got him. I will admit I do have him in my top 20 because I feel like he's just the skill that guy has. He's a guy that's young. He was in that same draft class as Anthony Edwards. And it's only really up from here as long as he stays healthy. He's shown that he can find success on a Hornets team. And I mean, whether he stays or not, he's going to continue to find a success throughout the league. So I agree. I think I like the argument that you make. I think you can definitely put him there lower, but at the same time, he has that skill. He has that flash. He's shown the success, at least in the sense that he can at least get his team, a pretty weak Hornets team, in my opinion, to the playoffs. So I think they're one piece. I think they're one piece away from really like finding themselves in a position where they can make a run, not necessarily win a championship, but make a run for sure. For me at 28, again, this might be a hot take. We'll see, but I got Bam Adebayo. He's a fantastic center. I mean, he's going to be a guy that's just shown physically. I mean, he's not the biggest center that the league has seen. Obviously, he's playing out of Miami. They're not really necessarily known for not known, at least as of recently, they haven't been playing that big man kind of basketball. But he's a guy that's going to be going in there. He's going to be playing physical, gritty basketball. He's going to be getting boards on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. He's going to be able to find ways to score in the paint, no matter what night it is. And he can realistically, I mean, for a center, lock down almost any player on the court. I mean, you'll see him go up there against guards, and he's not getting torched by guards. He's staying right there with them. So, I got Bam Adebayo. Again, you could probably put him up higher on this list. I think the argument's there, but especially considering that I think he is one of the best centers in the league. But at the same time, I think, again, it's just a matter of at this point, a lot of my argument's just the fact that I think there's a lot of people with skill ahead of him, and that's really where I have him.
Okay, hey, I love this. I love where you have him placed. I have him just a couple spots ahead, so we can get into that later. But I will go for my number 26. We're on 26 now, right, Kade?
27.
27?
Yeah.
Okay. 27 for me. I feel like I'm a little too low on this guy, Jamal Murray. The only reason why I don't have him higher is because coming off the injury, 0 All-Stars, but he's still a top 30 player in my opinion, just because how important he is to that Nuggets team, who we've seen go to the Western Conference Finals in a loaded Western Conference class. He's kind of like obviously Jokic is the offense, but Jamal Murray can control the offense just as well as Jokic. A very underrated passer, and he's just an automatic bucket, which I love. It's like Jokic late in games, he can kind of be contained, but Murray sometimes he's the go-to last bucket for the Nuggets. Kate, you think I'm a little too low on Jamal?
No, I don't think so. I've got him a few picks higher than that. I got him. Obviously, we'll get into that later. But a big part of the reason why is just because obviously he's been dealing with injury, and he's never going to be that number one option for the Nuggets as long as Jokic is on the court. Like Jokic is always going to be number one. The fact that Jokic has stayed healthy shows that he's going to continue to be number one. But with somebody like Jamal Murray, fantastic overall player, he's going to get you a bucket. He's going to be able to really make plays happen on the court. And you've seen that in the time that he has been healthy. It just at this point now, it's a matter of, because he's not that number one option. I feel like he kind of does get overshadowed, and he doesn't really have that opportunity to really showcase his skill. But at the same time, he's a fantastic player that's going to be reliable on the court. And I think on a Nuggets team that if he's healthy, if Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, if Jokic stays healthy, you're looking at a possible number two, even number one seed, in my opinion.
Love that team if they're all healthy next year.
Exactly. No, I agree with that. All right.
You said it perfectly. Yep.
It's great. Danny, I thought we were going to run into a little bit more issues, but I think we're good with most of the stuff so far.
I know.
All right, let's 26.
You got for 26? Oh, is it my turn?
I
just went. Who's your 27?
27. Oh, okay, that's my bad. We didn't get to 27 for me yet. All right. 27. This is a guy you mentioned earlier. I think he's going to be a guy that could possibly bring this team to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. I got De'Aaron Fox. I think he's a little bit underrated, considering that he plays for the Kings.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's again, it kind of goes just back to the fact that this is skill. He's going to be that number. He's the number one option on the Kings. He's a guy that, again, like I said, has the possibility to bring the Kings to the playoffs for the first time in, what is that, almost 17 years? Maybe I'm way off on that. Maybe 14, something like that.
16 or 17.
16, yeah, exactly. So it's been a long time since that team's been to the playoffs. He's the number one option on this team. He's going to have a lot of good players around him to help him out. And again, he's a baller. He's a skill player. He's going to be able to make plays himself. He's going to be able to find the open man for shots. I would say maybe defensively he's not bad, but I think he could step it up a little bit defensively. And again, that's why I got him at 27.
Kate, maybe it's because I'm a Lonzo Ball fan. Maybe because I'm a Laker fan, UCLA fan. But Kate, I don't have him in my top 50
at all.
Yeah.
So you'd put Lonzo ahead of him right now?
I don't know. Lonzo's not in my top 50, but I'm saying like Tyrese Maxey, Mikal Bridges, these guys are all guys I have over De'Aaron Fox.
I see. I don't.
You're saying he's the number one on the Kings, and zero All-Stars to his name. He's been in the league for 5 years already. Zero All-Stars.
That he doesn't have any All-Stars.
He's been on the number one. He's been the number one on the Kings for a while now, and no playoffs. They're not even sniffing the playoffs. You're saying they could be a playoff team next year? That's what, as a 10 seed? Like, I feel like De'Aaron Fox is a little overrated.
See, I don't know about that though, because I mean, you're right. He doesn't have any All-Stars to a name. He's been playing in Sacramento, and realistically, he hasn't taken Sacramento to the playoffs. But it's a dysfunctional franchise. They're not going to be able to actually get things done themselves. They have to get the help. They're not going to be. They don't know how to draft. But I mean, if you look at overall, I mean, shoot, let's look at this real quick.
Oh, well, let's look at LaMelo. He's been on the Hornets, a dysfunctional franchise. In just his second year, he's taking them, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier to the 10 seed and at least going to making a play-in game.
But that's the thing, is that he was drafted and then the team started to build a lot more around him. De'Aaron Fox was drafted and the team decided, you know what, we're going to continue to try rebuilding and whatnot. Now they're starting to finally make those moves to get guys that are going to be able to help them get there. And I think that's going to help a lot. I mean, you look at overall his past, he's gotten better ever since he's joined the league. 11 points, 11.6 average in 2017, 2018, 17 increase, 2019, 21 increase. 2020, he was averaging 25, his best of his career as of now. 2021, 23 points per game. So, I mean, he's putting up some good stats as of now. He's getting the ball around. He's playing good. Let me see what other stats I can pull up with him. But like he again, like I said, I feel like this is a guy that, and especially this year, and like I said, I mean, this is kind of a prediction on this year, but especially this year, he's going to have that help. He's going to be able to make things work out better. If Keegan Murray plays the way he did in the summer league, which obviously that's not a guaranteed, but we can at least assume that he has a chance to be decent. You have Domantas Sabonis, a guy that I already had on my list at 50. It's looking, I mean, it's looking good for him, at least in this point. Probably the best looking team he's had in his career. Still, they've got time before they can actually really make a true playoff run. I think this is the year that they kind of break through and find their way into a position where they can find themselves in the pool of 8 and actually get into it. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a play-in year for them, but still, I mean, they're on the up and up, you know?
Okay. You know, now he has the bonus. You're right. It is his time to shine. I just don't think it's going to happen. That's why I'm having him so low. But, you know, if he proves me wrong and him and Sabonis are an 8 seed, then, you know, I'll eat my words.
Okay, there you go. All right. Let's hit 26 for you.
Okay, 26. Hold on. Okay, 26. I feel like I'm a little too low on this guy. I might have to adjust my rankings, but I think this is a fair spot. I have Zion at 26 right now. He's already made an All-Star. He's 20 years as a 20-year-old. And then that was when he averaged 27, 7, and 4 in just 61 games played. You know, he only won 31 games that year with the Pelicans. But you know, that was with Bledsoe, Lonzo, Josh Hart as your guards. None of these guys can shoot. And he's on a better team now. This is the best team he's been on. BI, CJ, and I think he's going to be the number 1. So that's why I have him as at 26. I do think I'm a little too low. I might have to adjust him to like maybe 20-ish, 19-ish. But I think I'm high on the Pelicans this year, and I think Zion's going to be the number 1 on that team. So if he can stay healthy, he's definitely going to be a top 25 player.
Yeah, no, I disagree. I think or I guess I do agree that I think you do have him too low. I've definitely got him higher. And again, I'll admit that's more so just the fact that I think he's going to stay healthy this year and he's actually going to put up stats like he did his All-Star season a few years back. So I got him higher, but I can understand why you have him lower. I think just the fact that he has been injured, that plays a factor into it. You know, you never know if he's actually going to be able to stay healthy for the full 82 game season.
Yeah.
And even then, who knows if he's going to be able to stay healthy going into the playoffs. So we'll have to see that. But I agree. I think this is the best team he's had around him. I think he can really make something out of this. So yeah, I mean, not terrible. You know, I can't disagree with you, but I could see why you put him there. But again, I think he is definitely higher. For me, 26, and this is a guy that I feel like I might get the a little bit of a lashback for. Oh, Danny, you good? Okay, you're still good. All right.
Yeah, you got a notification. Sorry, I got a notification.
All right, we're good. This is a guy that I think, again, it might be a little bit low, but I think we could be pretty good here. I mean, he had a fantastic. I mentioned him a few episodes back. He had a fantastic season last year. I'm pretty sure he was an All-Star. He was at one point, I think, 4th in MVP voting. I could be wrong about that, or maybe 5th. I don't know, something like that. Maybe for us, it was just 4th or 5th. He had a fantastic month of February. Again, I see that smile. I'm not sure if you're fine on this one, but I got DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's, again, a fantastic player. And a part of it, again, goes down to the fact that there's just so much skill ahead of him at this point. But at the same time, DeMar DeRozan is a fantastic player. He's just offensively, I mean, he's just a very well-rounded built player that's going to be able to get baskets. I mean, I'll admit, I'm not too sure about where his shooting's at right now, but I think that's one of the things that we were mentioning about how last year during that run, his shooting was phenomenal. I mean, it was insane. So if he goes on one of those runs again, you could argue that he's better than 26. But I think realistically, just because he does have those highs and then also does find his time to have his lows, I think 26 is decent in my opinion.
Yeah, I know this is a perfect spot for my thing. I have him a little spots higher, but like you said, it's just he's never been able to push through in the playoffs. That's why I can't have him that much higher. He can be a number 1 in the regular season, but you know, East isn't the strongest, and they were the 6th seed. So I agree with this spot. Number 25 for me is Bam. Someone you kind of just touched on, Kade. I don't know if you mentioned this. Did you say best defensive center in the league? Better than Gobert?
I don't think I said best defensive center, but I said one of the top defensive centers.
Okay. I might have to say best. Like I remember you said this. You said how he can switch on the guards and you know, actually keep up with, definitely the shooting guard, small forwards, but some point guards even. And I think it's just he plays like a little bit more fluid than like Gobert. It feels like he can I don't know, he's a little more quick on his feet for sure. So he's at 25 for me.
Okay, that's solid. I like that. I'm like pretty close to me. Danny, you are going to absolutely hate this pick, I feel like.
Oh, geez.
But I feel like, and who knows, maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but you're gonna hate. I feel like you're gonna hate this pick. I feel like just because of the past 2 seasons, you cannot discredit what this guy's done. He's getting older. He's not doing as much on the court, but he has done something that a lot of players have. I mean, he's known for doing this, and this is a guy able to really showcase what this team is all about. But I got Chris Paul.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nah.
I was gonna say.
I was struggling with Chris Paul. I still don't have an exact spot, but I feel like 25 is a good spot for him. 25 is a good
Okay,
spot.
I was gonna say just put it right down in the middle of it. Again, his age is showing. He's getting older. He's not playing the same level of basketball he was able to in the past. I mean, and you can see it in his game for sure. But at the same time, you look at what he's done over the past 2 seasons with the Phoenix Suns. I mean, they were a team that were really nothing over the past decade. Chris Paul comes into the equation. It's a completely different turnaround. Takes the team to the finals in year 1 when he's with the Suns. In year 2, he takes them to the Western Conference Finals. He's almost consistently leading the league in assists, and he's able to dish the ball out and make plays consistently on a daily basis. At the same time, when you look at the third and fourth quarters, if it's a tight game, Chris Paul's going to take full advantage of that and make those mid-range jumpers and find those shots to get that shot creation and whatnot to have the Suns pull away and take the lead. So if this was a few years back and you were looking at a much younger Chris Paul, you could definitely put him higher on this list. But as of now, again, that age is showing. I don't think he's going to be putting up the same stats as he has over the past few seasons. So that's why I got him at 25.
Hey, Caden, 25, now that I'm thinking about it, it seems a little low, Cade. I know you're down on the Suns this year, but, Cade, they were just the 1 seed, okay? And do you really think that that Mavs series is gonna totally shatter the Suns franchise? Because I think Chris Paul can still take them to a top 2 seed, and if you're the best player on a top 2 seed, I feel like you gotta be higher.
No, you're not wrong. I will say I don't think it was the Mavs series that shattered that franchise. I think it's just the fact that the Suns, at least over the past 2 seasons, they went to the finals and then they really haven't done much to really just. They haven't gotten a key piece on that starting roster to actually make something work out, and that's something that happens in the NBA. You have to consistently be updating and improving your roster to find success. And that's not something the Suns have really put emphasis on doing. I mean, I think as of recent, actually I can't say this with certainty, but it sounds like as of recently, they're looking to trade for another guy who can create shots. I think it's another a small forward who might be able to create shots and whatnot. But at the same time, it's just a matter of, I think the reason why I have him so low on this list is just the age factor of it. But at the same time, I mean, you can't look at the past 2 seasons and think this guy isn't on the top 50,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's just my mindset of it. But no, I definitely get where you're coming from.
All right. You want me to go to 24?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, 24. I feel like you talked about him already, Kate. Chris Middleton. He's been consistently averaging 20 points per game. He was the number 2 on the Bucks when they won the championship just a year ago. They were the 1 seed. This year, they kind of coasted through the regular season, it felt like. And they were still a 3 seed. And then, in the playoffs, once Chris Middleton goes down, it's like the Milwaukee offense just wasn't the same. They didn't have a bucket getter like Chris Middleton. He's so valuable on that team. Giannis isn't who he is without Middleton, I think, in terms of winning. Maybe, he's still going to put up the stats, but there's no championship without Middleton. So he's at number 24 for me.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, the reason I had him so close, we talked about him last episode, but I had him right next to Drew Holiday, and I think it's really just a cut from the same piece. They both play not really similar. I mean, I think you got Middleton as a better shooter, Holiday's a better defensive player. But when you talk about that Bucks team, I mean, I've mentioned it in the past consistently, especially during the playoffs, is that when Giannis, you're always going to expect that consistency from. He's always going to, especially in the playoffs. And as long as you have Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton playing good, you don't need both of them playing good. You just need one or the other. That team is going to find a way to win. that's why I had them so close together because, again, I mean, they're coming from the same team. They're very similar situations. They play a very similar role overall for that team. So that's why I had them where I was at. 24. I'll admit, I think that's kind of high. That's pretty high, actually, in my opinion, just because of the skill that's around the league itself. But especially, I mean, what you got Zion.
I have him over Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Dude,
Zion hasn't won anything. Like, Zion can put up the stats, but is he a better player next year? Is he going to take – he's not taking the Pelicans to the 2 seed. Middleton's taking the Bucks to the 2 seed.
Okay.
He does have Giannis. Okay, but like – okay.
Yes, and then even then, you even admitted that Zion, this is the best team that he's had his entire career. So we don't know.
There's still not going to be a 3 seed, I feel like.
Okay, you're not wrong, but okay, real quick. Can we also throw the argument out there that the Pelicans are playing in the West and the East is a little bit more open?
Okay, that's fair.
See, yeah,
that's
exactly.
fair. But you still have the Nets, you still have KD, the Miami Heat, Sixers, the East, the Hawks. The East is a solid now. The East might be better than the West.
Yeah, we'll throw the Hawks up there like they're the Bucks. There's no
DeJounte Murray. You know how high you are. The Hawks were in the West, the Eastern Conference Finals just 2 years ago, and now they have DeJounte Murray.
Okay, let's look at that run too. They played a Knicks team that was pretty. I mean, they were
people
the Knicks.
Were high on the Knicks. People were high on the Knicks that year.
They were high on the Knicks. I'll give you that one. But the Knicks team, that was the Knicks team that was destined to fail in the playoffs. Though they didn't have the keys that they needed. And then they played the Sixers after that.
No one predicted the Randall to just poop the bed like that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying though. Is that I don't even then the Knicks were good.
You got the Celtics.
Yeah, okay, the Celtics are okay. So I think you look at it again, as I mentioned. I mean, when we were talking about the Cavs, what you have, I think you can make the argument for the Sixers. You can make the argument for the Nets, and you have the what's it called, the Bucks, and then the Celtics ahead of them. So I mean, those are the 4 teams right there that I think actually can make a real strong push in the playoffs for the East. But even then, at the same time, again, that's a good Eastern Conference. But I'm just saying that you compare that to the West. The West is stacked, and they've been consistently stacked. I mean, realistically, we've talked about it on the show, is that seeds 1 through 8 in the West could end up anywhere on that list. I mean, that's just how deep the West runs. But on the East, it's not necessarily the same, and that's why I'm saying that. I agree that Middleton's a fantastic 2 on the Bucks. But you're talking about the skill, you're talking about the position, you're talking about where they are in the conference. Again, like I said, I'm putting Zion over him. I understand the skill, but I just think that Zion's the better player, but I get it.
Okay, fair.
All right, shoot. Let's go for 20 or what?
Don't get me wrong. I think Zion, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, I think he's going to be like a top 5 player in the league. But I'm just saying next year, I have to go Chris. I have to respect Chris. I'm sorry.
I'll say, I don't know. I don't agree with that, but okay. That's fine. All right, so 24. We'll go guy that you've talked about, so we won't stay with him too long. I got Jamal Murray again. Just with the fact that he's been injured over the past season and a half, 2 seasons, it kind of limits his playing ability and whatnot, where I'm actually able to really put him. But again, he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to find shot creation. He's going to be able to make plays himself. He's that 2 option to Jokic, but I think he's comfortable being that 2 and being able to make that work out for him. So not getting too in depth with him just because we've already talked about it. But for 24, I got Jamal Murray.
Kade, you got Jamal Murray ahead of Chris Middleton, Kade?
Yeah, I did. Because
0 All-Stars.
Oh yeah, okay, that's true. 0 All-Stars because he had his real big showing in the bubble, and since then he's been injured. We know that he has a lot of skill, and we know that he's going to be able to actually be a reliable ball handler in the game. The reason I have him above Middleton is because I think when you take Middleton off that Bucks, he's going to be a good player. But again, it's similar in the same situation that DeJounte Murray's in. I don't think he's ever going to be that number 1. With Jamal Murray, you can make the argument that depending on the team you put him on, he can be a number 1 for that team.
Okay, I'm going to just go side-by-side stats, right? They're both number 2s.
Okay.
Jokic versus Giannis, they both have number 1s already. So Jamal and Chris are both number 2s. That's fair to say, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, 3 All-Star appearances for Chris, 0 for Jamal. Jamal's highest points per game per year is 21. Okay, he's got him in points. I I thought you had him in points. Okay, but assists, rebounds, steals, Kade. I still have to go Middleton.
See, and that's the thing too, is that like I'll give it to you that like I think Middleton overall, like he's a bigger body, he's
Defensive
going to be
too.
able to play a little bit more physical basketball, but at the same time, you look at the way that Jamal Murray's offensively, Jamal Murray's way better. I mean, there's no question to it in my opinion. You have Middleton that's going to be able to get a shot, and he's going to be able to make a shot most of the time. But when you're talking about shot creation, when you're talking about just making a play in general, when you're talking about just offensive efficiency, Jamal Murray's got him beat no matter what. Defensively, yeah, I'll give it to Middleton. I think he's got him there, but at the same time, in the league we have today, defensive efficiency isn't necessarily in the same level as offensive efficiency, in my opinion. You saw the way that the Celtics were able to make defensive efficiency work, but at the same time, I mean, you're talking about a team that still was just so inconsistent. Those inconsistencies led to them losing the NBA Finals. So, and that's what it comes down to, offensive efficiency in this situation. I think Jamal Murray is a much better offensive player, and that's why I've got him at 24.
I think much is a little disrespectful because Jamal, I'm a huge Jamal fan, so I hate bashing Jamal, but I think Chris, it can be with in the same conversation as Jamal Murray in terms of scoring.
I think you could make the argument they're in a similar situation. I just think Jamal Murray has himself in a position where he's going to be a more reliable player on the court than Chris Middleton.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well,
okay, let's put it this way.
We might have to. Okay, we're gonna have some sort of wager on the Bucks this coming year. Wager on the Bucks.
Hey, I think the Bucks are going to be a fantastic team. I think Middleton's going to be good.
Do you think they're going to be better than the Nuggets?
No.
The Nuggets are going to be better.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to throw on a little wager for that.
Do you think the Bucks are going to be better than the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Okay, in what way? Do you think they're going to make a deeper playoff run? You think? Okay, just record.
We can do whatever, either one, whatever you want. Playoff run.
I think the Nuggets. Okay. We'll have to talk about that. We might.
Okay.
We'll have to talk about that. All right, 23. Who you got at 23?
Okay, 23. I have Bradley Beal. He could be higher on this list, but last year, I don't know. It felt like he didn't have any juice, and I don't really blame him. There's no one really with him in Washington. Roy Hachimura, Kuzma. He didn't have guys, so he went from averaging 31 points per game 2 years ago, second in the league, to only averaging 23. But he's still only 29. I feel like if you put him as a number 2, he's taking that team to the championship. Honestly, he's that good. So that's why I have him at 23. You could argue that he's higher. Honestly.
Yeah, I'll admit I have him higher, but I think this year is going to be I don't know. It's weird because I feel like you could have him higher, but at the same time, I think you can also kind of tell he's done with Washington. I think he wants to be out.
But he signed a contract, an extension.
That's true, but I wonder if he signed that contract that's true. I don't know. I agree.
Press the trade, maybe.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about. But he's a good player, and I have him higher based off the stats he's been putting up the past few seasons. But I definitely understand why you would put him at 23. It makes sense. I think that, and I agree too, that if you put him on a team where he's that number 2 option, that's a championship right there. But I don't know. I think he's a kind of weird one because again, he has the skill to be higher, but it's just a matter of can he consistently do that on a team like Washington. So
yeah, and now he's got Kristaps. We'll see what he can do in Washington. I just looked it up. The contract he signed has a no trade clause on it. It's a super max 5-year contract, so he'll be in Washington. Yep.
Unless they're looking to try rebuilding around him, which I mean that would make the most sense. But I don't know. It's so difficult to kind of put my money on him and say that he's going to be as consistent as he has been over the past few seasons. So I don't disagree with that. 23, a guy that we've already talked about. So we're not going to get in too much depth, but I got Anthony Edwards, a guy that's continuing to find great success where he's at right now. Minnesota could put themselves in a position where they can make a little bit of a run in the West this year, depending on how things play out. And Anthony Edwards is putting himself in a position where he can be that easy number 1 on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So yeah, I got him at 23 for me.
Okay, I like it. 22 for me. Someone you touched on a little bit earlier, DeMar. After he was trapped in San Antonio, he's back in the playoff mix. 6 seed. You said at one point MVP discussions. So I don't have him higher on this list just because he's going to flame out in the playoffs every year. So I feel like this is a fair spot for him.
All right. No, I agree with that. And again, just because we have him so close, I think just some of those inconsistencies do show for DeMar, and that's why it's hard to put him higher than that. But he does have the skill. He does have the talent. And I mean, maybe if you put him as a number 2 on a team, he can really find his way there. But I don't know. 22.
Come to the Lakers.
No, definitely not the Lakers. But I mean, 22. And I'm gonna throw this out here right now. I think 22. You have him higher. And part of the reason why you have him higher is just because of the way that we've kind of played out our list yet. I don't think you're going to have him too much higher than me, but I've got Trae Young. He's another number 1 option on the Hawks as of now. He's taken that team to the playoff twice now.
Wow.
Really?
Hey,
okay, so you have him way higher.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, so I'll give you the. I think maybe I could move him to 20, but I think as of now, Trae Young. And again, I think it just, and it might be also too, just, I don't know. I'm not high on Trae Young. I think he's a fantastic player, but I think realistically he has shown those flares of just not being able to really deliver when it's necessary. But at the same time, I mean, he's a shooter.
I don't know.
He's a ball handler.
We saw him close out the Knicks that one year.
Yeah, the Knicks. I mean, we just talked about that.
They took down the Sixers. You remember that?
Yeah, no, and that's good. Like I agree. Like that overall, Trae Young is a fantastic player, and he's that number 1 player on that team easily, without a doubt. And then when you have a guy like DeJounte Murray coming in, that's going to be a good help, who might be able to help defensively on the defensive side of the ball pretty significantly too. I mean, you can talk about Trae Young being higher than this. And like I said, I think you can. At least looking at my list, I would say that I can move him up into the top 20 easily, but. Again, I don't know. I feel like for his game as of now, it's all shooting, and he hasn't really proven himself anywhere else.
Okay. We might have to get into it later because I don't know. I feel like this is a little too low for my boy Ice Trae, who's going to be the number 1 option on like a top 4 seed.
No, definitely not
championship,
top 4 seed.
Championship roster, Kade.
Okay, you got DeJounte, you got Trae Young.
DeAndre Hunter, John Collins. This is a solid team.
Oh, you do got John Collins. That's right.
Trae's going to be the number 1. I don't know. I feel like
and I agree. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying that like to say that he's the top, to say the Hawks have a chance of being a top 4 seed, I feel like that's a bit of an over exaggeration. I mean, they have the potential to be, but I think just again,
I said it. Okay. All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we'll have to get some polls going. I think this week on Twitter.
I know. Hey, once we get that, once we get both our top 50s out, we have to see what the people think about them.
Yeah, for sure. So, we're on 21, right, Kade?
Yeah,
21. Okay, 21 for me. Someone I think I have a little too low. I might have to adjust my rankings. Damian Lillard. Just a couple years ago, I feel like he was easily a top 15 player. Now I'm 21, a little bit lower. He decided to stay in Portland, so he's not going to be in the playoff mix. His points per game dropped to 24, so maybe he's starting to plateau. He's coming out of his prime. Maybe I'm sure he's still in his prime, but leaving his peak. He missed the All-Star game for the first time in 5 years, so I got him at 21. What do you think about that?
That's not terrible. I mean, I agree with your argument. I have him higher than that, and honestly, I'd say significantly higher than that.
Really?
Because again, yeah, and
it's still Dame.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's kind of hard to go against a guy that realistically just has the mentality he does. So, but not terrible. Again, I can understand with those arguments. I think he is kind of coming down on that back end of the peak of his career. So, I'm not sure exactly how well he's going to be. And again, being in Portland, where it looks like Portland's trying to make moves to state contenders, but I don't see it happening at all anytime soon. So, yeah, it is a little bit difficult. But again, it's hard to go against Dame. For 21 with me, you talked about him last week, and honestly, you kind of convinced me to put him down lower on this list. I couldn't, just because I already have the list set. I'm not going to go through the process of rearranging everything after already kind of going through what players and whatnot. But I got James Harden. You made a lot of good points last week, but at the same time, I feel like if he is able to find some success the way he used to back in Houston, he could still be one of the top players in the league. But again, it's just his age is showing. He's at that point where he's not shooting the ball as consistently. He's definitely not making those. He's not making plays as consistently in general, and his defense still lacks. But at the same time, I mean, if he is able to actually, maybe over the summer, he was able to find some good connections with Joel and that 76ers team, and they're actually going to be able to make a run this year. But I have him at 21, but you did kind of talk me down on him. I do think he is lower, but I wasn't going to go through the process of changing this whole list, especially after we've gone through, at this point, was that 29 picks already?
Yeah.
30 picks? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like with Harden, it's like this past year, we didn't see like that urgency with him this year. Points per game drop. I don't know. He wasn't getting to the free throw line as much, I felt like, this year. I don't know. Something was off this year. I hope he can bounce back. I've always been a fan of him. So hopefully the Sixers team, like you say, put in the work in the offseason and, maybe found a bigger role for Harden, especially in the like late game in the offense. Felt like Harden just was kind of checking out. I don't know.
No, I agree with that. I'm hoping that maybe it was just, again, being on the Nets, not really finding a really good chemistry there, and then being a midseason
That's
trade.
true,
That's what
yeah.
kind of slowed him down. But hopefully this
First
year he's actually
offseason.
able to kind of get himself into it and find success here. But we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll just have to see. All right. So then, yeah, we got part 4 next week going through. What would oh my gosh, that'd be 20 through 11. So we're gonna coming down to the end of it. I mean, it's looking like it can get pretty spicy. It got spicy tonight, so yeah, we'll have to check how things go. But of course, it wouldn't be 94 feet without some fashion talking here. Obviously, with the NBA out, we can't really be focusing too much on that fashion. But I will mention, I know you sent it to me yesterday. Jordan Clarkson looked like he was ready for the Queen's funeral.
Oh, jeez, man. Seriously, I don't know. He had connections to Britain.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that was an interesting fit that he put up.
Yeah,
but, I mean, it's
it
Jordan
kind of reminds
Clarkson.
me of Young Thug almost. With the dresses.
Yeah, the album cover he had.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. I'm thinking, maybe this was just as like I feel like during the summer, that's when players kind of start like branching out a little more, and like they know they're not going to be in the public eye as much. So they're kind of like branch out and try doing new stuff with fashion. But yeah, I was not a fan of that one. It was a little different. I know men have been able to like pull off skirts in the past, but I didn't like the set in general.
Harry Styles tried it. Maybe I feel like that's more of a Harry Styles thing to do than a Jordan Clarkson thing.
Oh,
nothing against it. I don't want to get canceled. I'm just saying, like, Jordan Clarkson.
Hey, nothing against that, but I'll say
yeah.
like maybe we got some. I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Styles, so I'll throw that one out there. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it just didn't look good in general. And maybe it was a fit, maybe it was, I don't know, but it didn't look good. All right, but similar to what we did with our summer fashion trends, we're gonna do the same thing with the fall fashion trends, some hot or not. Both Danny and I picked 3 different kind of things that we're expecting this fall, or just things that we've seen consistently in the fall in the past. And we're just kind of think about, are they hot or are they not? So Danny, I'll let you pick out the first one. What are you going with?
Can you run me your 3? I can't like use my phone because I'm
oh yeah, I got you. All right. Well, okay, I'll go first. Then we can just go from there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So for me, I'm going with the one that, I'll be honest with you, I talk down consistently. I'm just not a fan of them. I think they're way too overplayed. I think they just, in general, are kind of just a bland part of part of fashion. But I got flannels at
wow. That's disrespectful.
It is. And here's the reason why.
I have a collection.
Yeah, I know. And I think the reason why is because I feel like, again, it just kind of like, it's gotten so easy for people to just throw on a flannel and be like, yeah, there we go. I got a fit, Like, I think if you get a little bit more interesting with it, I agree. It could be something, but I don't know. I just feel like it's become such a big thing that, like, it just got a little bit bland,
Okay, I don't know. If you're rocking the red and black flannel with the red ones, then
that's such a bad look.
That's what I'm talking about. I feel like there's still ways to style flannels where it's kind of unique. You can play with colors. It's like it's just perfect for layering in the fall and the winter. Okay, this is an automatic hot. This is such an automatic hot. It's about to be. The thing with flannels, you can only wear it like half the year. Like you can't be busting out flannels all year long. You gotta wait for the fall. Wait for the good time to bust out your flannel fits, Kade.
No, I agree. And that's the thing. I agree. Like, I think you can definitely make it work out. But I think I mentioned it during the summer with the graphic tees. Like, it's getting so overplayed. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's rocking the same way. Like, it's kind of just getting bland. It's drab. It's boring, And that's why I feel that way about flannels. It's just like you see the same thing consistently. It's just like, let's do something different. Like, it's always just like the like unbuttoned flannel with like a graphic tee end or like some hoodie or whatnot. Like it's gotta mix it up, you know. Like that's my thing. So that's why I'm going not on it. I don't have any flannels. I don't. If I find a flannel I like, it's got to be something special. That's just the way I look at it. But Danny, what do you got? So yeah, I'm going not. You're going hot. Danny, what do you
Yeah.
got for your next one?
Okay. I'll start with the Birkenstocks. You know, something I've been the past year or so has really popped off, and I think it's like a perfect fall sneaker slash sandal. You can throw on the sweats, the Birks with maybe you don't like rocking the socks. I would say socks. I just picked up my first pair of Birks this past summer, and then I lost them while I was moving them here to Arizona. Kate, real quick, isn't moving like the worst thing for a sneakerhead? It's the worst.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Terrible.
I hate it. Like, I mean, and it sucks too because it's like that takes like when I move and stuff. Like that's what I like make sure. Like I make sure everything there is like good. It's solid. It's in good condition. Whatnot. I
Yeah.
take good care of it. But like that always takes up like so much more space than it needs to. So it's always tough.
Yeah. So, sorry. Yeah, a little side story about that. But yeah, like I said, Burks, I'm going hot on this. I want to buy another pair because unless I find the ones that are somewhere around here. But yeah, I'm going hot. What about you?
All right, that's good. I think we know somebody that'd be rocking them with no socks. But yeah, no, I think, and that's the thing is that like Birks, you can wear them year round, but realistically, they're a fantastic looking shoe for the fall. Like the one that's been getting pretty popular recently, it's the Bostons, where it's like it's not even like the like Jesus sandal, it's like the weird like moccasin looking one. And I think that's probably the best one for the fall fits. But again, I think I agree. I think these are hot. Again, in a similar situation to flannels, I think they're overplayed and whatnot. You can't really get like good fashion out of it, or at least it's overplayed. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think anybody's really looking to style Birks most of the time. It looks like they're more of just a kind of thing that you throw on, and they're a little bit more classy than like throwing on slides, you know. So,
I have seen slowly and surely. I've seen like definitely like more sneakerheads wear Birks like in a stylish way. So I think it might be a trend coming up.
And that's the thing is that you can definitely style them. Like and that's the one trend that we haven't seen yet is like really like being able to style the sandal because you can rock them, you can make it work out, but it's just difficult. So, but no, I agree. I think, and again, you can make the argument a little bit overplayed, but I think when done right, you can definitely make it look good. So I'll go hot on this one just because again, it's a good fall sandal to rock with, especially out here in Arizona. So. My next one, I'm going work jackets, something a little different, you know, but I feel like you definitely kind of see them kind of pulling back up during the fall. This is, I think, they're moving in the same position that flannels are, and I'm going to use flannels as a baseline because I feel like that's going to be just something that you're always going to see flannels around this time of year. I think work jackets are moving that same position. I think it's a fantastic look. But it's a little bit easy, you know. You just throw on a work jacket, and most of the time, it's going to work out with whatever you're wearing. So it's just an easy fix. I'm not a huge fan of them. They look good, like I said, just not a huge fan. So I'm going to go not with these. Throw me something new out there, you know, like when it comes to like work jackets or flannels or whatnot. Throw me something new, and maybe I'll consider it. But as of now, it's all the same fashion.
What if you use the work jacket as like part of the fit? Because do you remember a long time ago, like when the airplane, like the vintage airport driver, what was that jacket called?
Oh, the bombers.
The bombers. Remember when everyone wore bombers, but it was like every day. If people are wearing their work jacket every day, that's how you ruin it. But if you bring it out for like certain fits, when you're wearing a Dickies, maybe cargos, then I think it works, and that's when it's hot. But if you're rocking it like your regular like that might be that I don't think that's the move.
No, I agree. I think that's it too, because I mean, you look at like something like a work jacket, it's really like just a one piece kind of thing. It's not like you have people having like 6 or 7 different jackets like that. It's always like one, maybe 2 at most if they get lucky at the bins or something like that. But no, I agree. I mean, you see them wearing it consistently, like every fit. It's like, okay, I'm going out, I'm going to throw this on. Like it's good, like that. Yeah, I agree. That's when it's overplayed. But if you can make it work out with the different fits and whatnot, I agree with that. I think that you can make it work.
Okay.
It's weird. This is a weird one. I'm gonna go not with this one just because again it goes with the fact that I like it, but again you just got to find a way to kind of spice it up, make it work, you know.
Okay, fair. You think Carhartt's getting a little overplayed?
The brand, okay. If you get the right stuff, no. But it's always people always go for the same stuff, and that's what's overplayed about it. Like it's always
Yeah,
Carhartt makes some fantastic pants, and I mean, you look at the double knees. I mean,
those are
it's
clean. Yeah,
yeah, they're clean, but for a time, yeah, they were definitely a little overplayed, and that's the issue. But again, work jackets for Carhartt, obviously the shirts. I'll throw it in there, obviously. Beanies, even they were kind of getting hot there for a little bit. So, again, it depends on what you go with and the way you style it, because that's what's going to really come down to the difference maker there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me when it comes to Carhartt.
okay, fair.
All right, yeah. So what you got, hot or not on this one?
Oh, hot for sure. Come on.
Okay, hot. Okay, I can't disagree with that. All right,
Okay.
what's your next one?
Next up for me, I brought up the Doc Martens. They've been around for a while, but I feel like we see them the most in the fall. Definitely more of a fall look. Darker. Goes with pants, not shorts mostly. So that's why I guess we don't really see them in the summer. But I'm going hot on these. I feel like it's like another level of a cleaner look for your outfit more than just throwing on a pair of ones. It's just a different type of feel. So I'm gonna go hot. Nice way to step up your style for sure with some Doc Martens.
Okay, I don't disagree with you there, but again, it comes down to being able to style it, because
Yeah,
I think it's
you got to go with pants. You can't be rocking you just I don't know. Yeah, it's just different type of style. You got to be
no,
clean
I
to look
agree,
like
and I think, God, I don't want to throw out a very particular demographic here on this one. Like, you see people, and I'm like, Doc Martens are their personality, like that's like you know what I'm talking about. Like that's all they
Yeah.
rock with. They rock with every fit and whatnot. Like, and
it's
at
the
that
Tyler
point, like,
the Tyler fanboys.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, I mean, and if you make it look good, like I feel like, and that's the thing, is that you have to have a consistent sneaker rotation to actually, I think, really be able to pull off Doc Martens. Like whether that's
That's key.
the moccasin
You
look,
can't be
that's
wearing them
the
every
boot.
day.
And that's what you see, is that like the people that really like rock them, they're wearing them every day, and it's a little overplayed. It's like the work jackets, it's like the flannels. Get something new, get something different.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I think hot though. I think hot. I think realistically, when we're talking fashion, if you're able to style these, you can style them really well. But it's just again kind of the fan base that you see rocking them. That's what kind of brings it down. But no, I'll go hot with this one. For my last one, it's not necessarily a style. I guess it is a style. It's not necessarily a piece of style, but it's the style itself, and that's just neutral colors. I feel like in the summer or in the fall, that's when you start getting a lot of the neutral colors, especially like the browns, tans, the dark greens, oranges, all that stuff, and it looks good. I mean, I'll admit, I think I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of neutral colors personally, and I think that in fall, that's when you really start getting them out there, but I feel like, again, just like keep it mixed up, because I think you can make the argument for almost everything that we're talking about on this list. When you overplay it, it looks terrible. It's boring, it's bland, it's nothing new, and especially because so many people are like high on a lot of this stuff, it's hard to really kind of make something new out of it. But when done right, it's done right. Like, I mean, Kanye, you look at him with his neutral colors. I mean, you get two different pairs of Yeezys that he swears are two different colors that look the exact same, but the thing, though, is that you see what Kanye wears, and it looks so good. So, I mean, when you're doing stuff like that, I mean, I'm all for it. And I feel like with Kanye's style, his fits that he puts together, a lot of it fits with the fall and like almost winter fashion so well. So when you're doing stuff like that, especially with neutral colors, I'm all for it. But again, it just being able to style it right. So I'll go hot with this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hot. You said it, touch on it a little bit. It can be a little bit boring, especially if if it's the same colors every day and stuff. But overall, it's so clean though. It has to be hot. It's clean. You said it goes with fall. Kanye makes it look cool, so has to be hot for sure. It's a staple, honestly.
Exactly. I'll even make the argument too. I feel like it's weird because it's like you have like colors like brown, which I feel like a lot of people really just kind of gravitate away from. I don't think people really see brown and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna rock that." But realistically, like you get some like brown works well with so much.
Yeah.
You can make it work so well. So I think that's a color that, again, it's just like almost probably the most like traditional neutral color you can get. But you get that going for you. It looks fantastic. So yeah, I'm going hot here.
Okay. Am I closing it off, Kade?
Yeah, you got your last one.
Okay. last one. I had to save the best for last. I think the Yeezy Gaps. These are getting tons of buzz on social media. It was Frank Ocean, or no, was it Frank Ocean? It was Uzi, Kanye, and like two other people were posing. In their bathroom, all had the sunglasses on. I think these look really cool, and I really want to get my a pair of these for sure. I don't know how much
Yeah.
they're I don't know how much they're gonna go for retail, but I think these are hot.
No, I like him. I mean, and again, it kind of comes down to that Kanye style of being able to actually like rock something like that because you see anybody just throw that on with a random fit, like it's not gonna look good, but you can make it
Yeah,
work out. But like if you're able, like, and it goes with that Kanye style, that like almost like larger just fit, and that's how those look. I don't know, like I like them. I think that's something that I would definitely want to get my hands on. I mean, I got something similar that I was able to find. Just I guess these aren't too similar, but I mean they got a reflective look. They got the like
hey,
big
okay.
oversized thing.
Hey, is
But
Kanye stealing your style?
I guess so. I mean, I think I pulled these off pretty well. I might have to get myself a pair of the these easy glasses, but no, I mean it's going to be interesting to see how people really do kind of wear these because if they are in a position where they're making them like or at least open to the public like Yeezys, you're going to see some really weird stuff with these, and that's why I'm not going to
Oh
necessarily.
no.
I think
Yeah,
you're going to see some weird stuff with it.
if I'm rocking these whenever I get them, they're not my everydays. Like I kind of
No.
gonna style them. Like they're gonna be part of my outfit. Honestly, does that make sense?
And even then, they're going to be hard to style too. Like, I mean, you can't
Well,
like it's going to be
it would
difficult.
probably be the way Kanye styles it, just blacks, baggy, dark. I think, man, I really want a pair of these. Honestly, these are so cool. I'm looking at the picture
So,
of Kanye and Uzi posing with them. Like that's just cold.
I would say with the what I don't know like, what is that Kanye got on the it's almost like he just like tied a shirt around his head, but no, like it looks good though.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't know what
agree.
he's
It's
doing
a
there.
good look. But no, I think yeah, that baggy overall look, just kind of with the blacks and whatnot. I like it. I think it's a hot, but again, it's just a matter of let's see how things.
Ooh,
They're still new, so let's just see how things play out by the time they
quick
get out
question,
to the
Kate.
general public.
Are you putting if you're wearing a hoodie with these? Are you putting these over the hoodie or under the hoodie?
I
Because
would put them.
in the photo shoot, the models are wearing them like over the hoodie. Like
Yeah, I
there's like
saw.
it's like a strap. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I noticed that. See, here's the thing though. You can realistically, you can rock those both ways. Like you
What
have
are
to
you
have
at
the right
rocking them?
hoodie to rock them the way they're
Yeah.
doing it, like the models are. But if you want to, one way or another, you're gonna make it clean. It's gonna look good no matter which way you do it. So, shoot, I think I would lean towards in the hoodie until I can get comfortable enough to find a hoodie that works outside the hoodie. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I think the hoodie's key. You need a clean, baggy, like gray hoodie that looks sick. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, you got any
Kanye,
more takeaways?
I don't think so. No. Do you
All
have
right,
one last
hold
one?
up. No, that was it for me. You went hot. You
Okay.
went hot with these glasses, right?
Has to be automatic hot.
Okay, I agree with that. All right,
I
I
went
mean,
hot across the board, Kate. I'm hyped for fall.
I know. I was surprised about that. You had it was nothing that. God, that's crazy to me, but that's
I
all
couldn't
good.
find anything.
No, I get that. I was gonna say, I feel like who knows? I mean, it's by the time we hit October, November, and you actually start seeing those fall styles, we might see some more stuff that we're just like, we might have to revisit this. You never know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Exactly. All right. We thank you guys for joining us tonight. Of course, I mean, another late Sunday night, but we thank you guys for sticking around. We'll be back next week for part 4 of the
With Wi-Fi.
yeah, with there we go with Wi-Fi. Part 4 of the list in general, just going down top 20 to 11. So we're almost getting to that list, and before you know it, we're going to be looking at NBA basketball pretty soon. We got some more fashion stuff coming up. Hopefully, some more content coming up as well. So we've definitely got that on deck. We'll get that out to you guys. And of course, until next time, we'll see you around.